me just all right, welcome everybody. My name is Scott Phelps. I'm here with Charlie Harcum and Shauna Fretwell. Currently trying to figure out who was on what side of the Avengers argument. It is
In Civil
interesting to
War
know that
specifically.
yeah, yeah, I think it carries over, but yeah, you thought that it was Captain America that was like, nah, we need the government telling us what to do.
The reason I say that too is because he was from the air. I mean, he is a government product. I mean,
Yeah,
they made him, and so I was thinking all along,
he likes them. He's
Captain
all
America
for it.
was the one who was like, "No, we need the government telling us, not telling us what to do, but we need a little bit of oversight."
Which is funny because no, he's
And he's exactly not. And now I'm like, I got a little beef with this. I don't think that's in his character. I
well,
can see Tony switching up and be like, "No, dude, I've been killing people accidentally, and it's not cool, and we need some oversight." I'm
right.
starting to think this whole movie had no grounds for even being made as good as it is.
Because you think that
I don't
Captain
believe the
America
story
shouldn't.
now.
Can
I
we
think
just
they
all
were on the
right?
boat.
But
I think they were on the
let's
same
all
side
right.
all
The
along.
whole thing.
Wait, all right. Let's just time out for our listeners and for Shauna as well, who has no idea what's really going on here. So there was a
Oh,
Civil War, Captain America, Tony Stark, and it's been years since I've seen it. So if I get a detail wrong, bear with me. The Avengers, Tony Stark specifically, creates Ultron inadvertently, but he creates Ultron, this villain who is, AI, and
It's like Iron Man on steroids, right?
it's just yeah, essentially, maybe. Yeah, it's a
he's got a little
computer.
bit of Iron
And
Man in
he's just
him. Yeah.
decided, okay, I'm gonna do me. And so it goes crazy, and they get in this big battle in Sokovia and ultimately destroy Sokovia. I mean, they just get
A lot of
like
innocent people die.
just
Mm.
like that's
Oh, I
it.
bet.
It's gone. They lift up the whole like it
The
gets
whole city,
crazy.
pretty much.
Oh,
But they
I remember
took
that.
care of Ultron too.
They did.
I mean,
It
problem
was sort of like
solved.
collateral
A
damage. Oh, my
means
bad,
to an
Sokovia.
end. A means to an end.
So so then they get into this whole like, all right, wait a minute. We just destroyed an entire city. We maybe need to think about how we're doing this whole Avengers thing. So the government's like, you guys are weapons. We need to be able to regulate this. We need to control you. You don't get to just go decide, oh, I'm going to save the world. We decide when you get to save the world.
Mm.
We decide when you're necessary. Otherwise, we handle it because your presence is creating more problems. And there's that whole argument, J. Jonah Jameson's been arguing for years. Well, before Spider Man was here, we didn't have octopuses crawling through the city. There were no
So,
supernatural lizards,
that's pretty good, actually. That's
right?
that's pretty good.
Wait, but now I have a question.
Okay.
There
Oh,
weren't all of these villains.
That's what he says. I don't know. I
Okay, but
wasn't
that
there.
would give me pause too.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, the Avengers don't need to be who they are until like
Necessary.
Loki and all. I mean,
Okay.
it's something
Right.
significant happened to make them need to be like, oh, we got to group up.
We
We got to
gotta
be a group instead of just,
assemble.
ooh,
Wow.
Assemble.
write
Roll
that down.
credits. So ultimately, the government's like, hey, this is what we're proposing. We are going to regulate you guys. We'll let you know when you will send you off. We'll call you,
Mm,
right? We'll say, hey,
mm.
we need you. By the way, they don't know where Hulk is at this point. So that's a whole factor. We don't even know where he's at. Um,
They never know where he
they
is, but
don't,
okay.
which is a problem. Like, okay, how do you control him? You don't even know where he's at. Captain America's on the side of like, no, you don't get to start telling us, like, I am me. I'm a human. I'm not here for your regulation. If the world needs saving, I'm going to be there. It's my duty to save the world from villains. Tony Stark feels a little bit guilty because that was his whole past, right? He had that whole scene where he's telling, I don't know who it is,
It's Viola Davis actually
and he's
in the
telling them
hallway.
what?
Oh, is that what you're talking about? When she's like, my son died and
No, I'm
my
talking
bad.
about when, with who's it, Sam Elliott, and they're going over this whole the actor, Sam Elliott. And they have this whole scene and they're like he's like, "You're trying to do what I did and you can't." No, I'm not. What's up? I'm Iron Man and you are
Hmm.
not. Period. Done. And he goes on this whole he's like, "I think this is a problem. I know from my past we've caused pain. We need to be regulated. Like we need to just let them say, okay, this is when because otherwise the blood's always on our hands when innocent people die." So, for context, that's where we're at. Now, I think Iron Man is justified in his stance. He makes a lot of sense, and given his past, it checks out. Captain America, you have to remember he was frozen since what? What was it? World War One, World War Two? What war? One of the wars.
Uh, Good question. One of the big ones.
It
One
might
of the
be
ones
worth a
where we
Google
fought the
search.
world.
The biggies.
We'll get our Google guy on that. But he was frozen for years. So when he wakes up, it's
World War
like,
Two.
okay, World War Two. He wakes up and it's like, okay, you got to remember this guy's mind. He was living in a different, you know, it was a whole other world going on in his brain. That was 1942, yeah?
40s.
1940s. So then he gets dropped into, the 2000s. And okay, so he's seen like a different world. So I think it's justified that he's like, no, no, no. What are you talking about?
Mm.
He had done his research on, the Cold War before or after World War II. It was
After.
after. So, this whole nuclear thing, that's a new idea that everybody's still exploring. Oh, wait a minute. We just nuked Japan. Like that's a whole he's realizing it in the moment, but he doesn't know this new world. Like that's the technology is insane. Maybe he does have an idea at this point, but he's taking notes on things he's got to catch up on.
Yeah, by the time that movie
So
came out, how long had he been
Frozen since World War II.
unfrozen? Oh,
Oh,
because these
Unfrozen.
these movies don't go like in chronological order. Like they bounce around a little bit,
No,
right?
they there's an order to him.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point he had a better knowledge of what's going on.
So he's been
My point
Right.
is though, my point is that's it's kind of like taking, I don't want to get political, but you have old
Well,
people,
you have to.
like old guys, right? These old dudes living out in the middle of nowhere. They have these, very extreme stances on politics. You're not going to change them. That's their whole world. That's all they've ever known. They grew up in that time period. That's their stance. It's like that's what they know. So Captain America, we're just gonna assume that he's this open-minded. Well, I did grow up in the 40s and this, you know, I mean, how many memes have people made where they're like, when Captain America wakes up and he looks at the woman and he's like, "Fetch me a coffee." And like, "No, no, no, that's like the doctor." No, the I was talking to the woman.
The woman.
Like that
I have
was
not seen these
he grew up in the
memes.
40s, so it makes sense that he would be a little bit confused. There's female doctors. No, you can't say female. They're doctors. But the
Fetch me. Woof.
that's probably how he
I think
talks,
that's some of
right?
your talking there. That's your word, fetch.
What would he say?
Wow.
I don't
Ma'am, can you get me a coffee? He's not disrespectful.
Okay, fair. He's
Fetch.
probably a nice
Wow. I
guy.
think that's some of your stuff.
Point being, he's whatever his, you know, stance on government was in the 40s, that's how he pictures it today, which is
Well, and he's probably thinking too, though, like my government pulled some triggers to do what was necessary
he watched those nukes drop on
to
Japan and he's
end
like,
this
Mm,
horrible war. So he trusts his government. He
yeah.
trusts his
well,
government.
Well, but he doesn't though, because he's like, no, 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 I can do this.
Right.
But
That's
you're
what I'm
saying it's
saying. Does
wrong.
it make
Okay.
does it even make
Well,
sense that
here's
he
another curveball in the whole equation. The government's sitting here like, no, 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 we got this, right? You guys, we'll deploy you when it's necessary. Meanwhile, they were ready. They not only ready, they did drop a nuke on New York City. A missile. They were like, we're gonna bomb New York City because that's just crazy what's going on over
Yep.
there.
So that's where it gets really slippery where I would agree with Captain America that okay, he feels like he knows what's best, right and wrong,
Right.
as opposed to having to let a group of people who are not superhuman like he is. I don't know
Sure.
if it means he always knows what's right and wrong. That's very slippery. And that's what his point is. Well, who's to say they're going to make the right call when we do and don't need to be deployed?
Which is funny because I don't I you can make the same argument. Well, how does he know? Because he has superpowers? He wasn't born
I
with them.
think he probably trusts himself more to do the right thing. Right. I
Everybody
100%.
does though. I
He
trust
yeah.
myself more than I trust the next guy.
Right. This is totally it it has to be political. This is totally big government versus small government.
Yeah.
Do you want your government doing more for you where you don't necessarily have to think about as much that's going on, but you don't have as maybe as much say about what you can and can't do? Or do you want the small government who just takes care of the main things, but I don't need you out here protecting me. I can take care of myself. I just am surprised that Captain America landed on that side of things. It
Really though, he doesn't strike you as that kind of guy.
he's so all American.
I mean, he wears the American flag.
I know that's why I'm like I okay.
He's not
No,
gonna want the
I can
government
see
telling him
that.
what to
I
do.
can see that. Yeah.
Give me my guns, man. I got this.
I think I
Stay
was
out
thinking
of
of
it.
it more from the perspective of he wants to just be this maverick out there running wild doing stuff. But
Yeah, I
that's not
thought
his thing. He doesn't want the government telling him what he okay. Hey, I see it now.
hmm.
I see it
I'm
now.
wondering what you thought though
I was thinking of
during the
Captain America out
movie.
there running around being the crazy guy. I didn't even realize. Now that I've
Like
watched this
during the
movie probably
movie,
4 times and I don't remember thinking, "Wait a minute, Captain America.
did
You
you were you on his side or not
you want to
during the
run out
movie?
there and
You had no idea.
I was
You
on the
missed
side of
that
the
whole
movie. It's
scene,
such a good movie by the way. It is one of the best Marvel movies.
but you didn't even know what was going on in it
It was just a great movie. I don't know if I realized it
because of
was a
the
Is that
airport
story.
the
fight.
is that the one where his best friend Bucky? Which
Yeah,
one is
No,
that?
that's Winter Soldier. No, no,
Winter
that is Civil
Soldier.
Bucky's
War.
in it.
That yeah, that comes about.
Okay, okay.
I
Yep, different.
Hmm.
But
I just
yes,
think like okay, the government's a
and Black
little
Panther
bit
shows up. Sorry.
justified in the idea of going, okay, there's aliens attacking New York City. We need the biggest missile we got and just send it. But also, after seeing the fact that, oh, we didn't have to do that. Maybe they can handle things a little bit better. We don't have to just nuke it. They got it. But I'm curious, like, okay, but even when the Avengers were down there fighting, they still decided we need to nuke it. Like we need to just wipe it out. So when you say, okay, we'll tell you guys when to go, like, we got it. What's your first choice gonna be? Oh, aliens are attacking, you know, Florida. I don't know.
Let
Are
him
they gonna
have
be
it.
like, we got two options here. We got
Just
a nuke,
let him have it.
we got a nuke, and we got the Avengers. Opinions about Florida aside, I mean, I don't know. That's where you could say, all right, well, Captain's on to something. I mean, but also then he's just battling the government because they're going to roll up and be like, no, 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 don't worry, we got this. And he's just going to, what, Captain America himself? He is a soldier. So is he fighting with or against the government?
Right.
And now I'm asking
Again,
myself questions,
again,
but
it's
I feel
it
like the
it's
movie could answer. I just
He's
haven't
for
seen
the
it in a while.
people.
Yeah, we've heard that before, though, haven't we? Everyone's for the people.
Nobody's for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I thought Captain America was like the all-American, like
I,
golden child, follows the rules,
he definitely does.
clean cut.
that
And
was
he,
literally in my mind. I was thinking he always wants to, hey, okay, this is what
He's
the
a Boy
rule says,
Scout.
so we've got
He's
to
a
do
total
he
it.
Boy
is.
Scout.
And he's
I'm totally jarred by him going against his government.
totally for the people.
Jeez.
Well, but
I'm throwing away my pajamas.
I think that's I think
Aw.
that's the point though. He's so for the people that he's like, no, if they need saving, I'm gonna save them. You're not gonna tell me I can't. Which is a little bit, I think,
That's kind of
ignorant on his
OG.
part.
It's a little bit OG America, though, right? Like that's back to the roots
Yeah.
there.
I
Yeah.
think it's a little ignorant for him to say, I'm just gonna assume you can't handle it and I'm just gonna do it myself.
Yeah, but
Like,
how
Well,
often?
but they
okay,
couldn't
hot
handle it
shot,
back in
but
his day. That's why they made
Right.
him. They're like, well, we need this dude.
We need a super soldier.
listen though, he's also the guy that jumped on a grenade that from his perspective he thought was live. So I mean,
Was that when he was the skinny guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, grenade, and he jumps on it. Get
Oh,
away. And it's like, oh, he's sweet, but also,
That's so sweet
okay,
of you.
he's willing to do what it takes. So let's
he's a
make him
one and
into a
done
super
though.
soldier. But it was a test. I mean,
He's edgy.
Well, they weren't
Uh,
testing to see who would jump on it. They were trying to see who, oh, grenade, what are your reactions? You need to run. They aren't testing to see which
I
guy is going to jump on the
I
grenade.
don't know if they were
I don't,
testing to see who would jump on it, but they were testing to see who had the reaction that they were looking for. I, I
I
don't
think
think they
they
were
were
like, all
just,
right, hey, Bob, tomorrow. So look, I got this fake grenade. Tomorrow, here's what we're gonna do. They're gonna be walking along. I'm gonna throw the grenade. We want the person who jumps on it. I don't think that's how the
no.
conversation went. It
I,
went. We need to test them to find some moral. Who's gonna do
can I just
what
say
it
though,
takes to save people?
they,
That was his standout moment, though, right? That's how he got
Oh, that's how
selected.
they were like, he's the
but
guy.
I don't remember it because it's been a while, but they had a little dialogue right before it, and I'm pretty sure it was one guy hitting the other on the shoulder, like, hey, watch this. Grenade!
Was it like a nerd?
Like a, like a, yeah, like a, hey, check this out. This
Watch
will
this
freak them out.
dork.
It's not real, it's dud, but watch this.
Is that what
Like it was a
happened?
funny bit in his mind, and then they were like,
Oh
oh.
no, I think it was all part of the
No, they said it right before. I don't
test.
remember, but I'm pretty
Okay.
positive there was we
Huh.
know.
But it was his defining moment. It was how they knew right then, okay, he's the one.
That's the guy.
Yeah. Funny how this whole
Well, what's funny
concept
though is go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
funny how this whole concept uh may or may not pop up in The Boys.
Ugh,
A
I
lot of
haven't seen it.
parallels between
Captain America and
the
the
whole concept of uh do we
say
need some
something.
oversight of
Oh,
these people who have extra powers?
that's
Or should they just be
okay.
allowed to do their own thing? It's almost literally the exact same
I
story.
don't know. I haven't seen it, but from what I know about it, that feels accurate.
Oh yeah, it
Kind
would
of
be a
like
very real. It's a natural story to get to. Like, okay, wait a minute. These people maybe there may be innocent people dying, and it's making it on TV now.
we should
We
probably
probably have
do
to get this
something.
under control. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
well, for the record, I would just like to say I think Tony Stark is the real winner here because he wasn't made in a lab. He made himself.
here we go.
And I mean, if that's not badass.
Tony Stark is such a maverick. Wow, you could not
Yeah.
hang out with that dude because he he he's a he's a bomb waiting to go off. I don't know. I cannot believe he was the one like, no, 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 we need oversight. I know he in that moment he felt guilty. But other than that, he's always
But it's character
you never
development. He
know what
got
he's
to the
gonna do.
point.
But even
We've seen
later, I
him.
think after this movie, he does some stuff. You're like, whoa, dude, you can't just no. I mean, he wasn't blowing up cities, but I'm a Captain America guy all the way, except for this thing where he wanted his government
Right?
oversight. I'm not down with that.
And you
I
thought you
like
were
a
on
little
his
bit of
side.
government oversight, but not much.
Well, it's the way you look at it. Do you want the
Well,
government oversight, or is it like, and which he's like, no, we don't.
I mean, I don't want to defund the police. Don't. Hey,
Oh,
no, no, no,
God.
no, no, no.
well, there's accountability and there's oversight.
What?
Accountability is essential. Nobody gets to
I'm
go
down with
unchecked.
accountability.
Nobody gets to go unchecked.
Yeah,
I think we're missing the
but I
point,
don't need you
though,
telling me what I can and can't do.
that like, okay, but
But there's some unhinged people in this world. Some people need to be told.
it's a weird dilemma, though, because okay, I mean, what were you gonna do? What was your plan? Again, with the New York thing, you were gonna nuke it. You were gonna destroy New York City.
All right, phrase that as
That was your plan.
a what would you do? Like a would you rather?
Well, what would you do if you're the government and you're just sitting there like, okay, you have a Ultron, this robot attacking Sokovia. I don't remember why they were in Sokovia, but
Because of the twins, Wanda and
that's
her
right.
brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, let's
It
go back
was
to the New York example because that's the easier one. Okay, New York aliens are attacking the city because this god came down from another planet and opened a portal. What's your plan? To nuke it?
I think you team up. I don't think you feel like you need to
No, no, no.
tell
You
these
don't have the
folks.
Avengers.
Oh, oh,
Just the intrusion.
You nuke it.
yeah. I mean, nuke. You use whatever force is necessary. I mean, yes.
What does
Understanding
that mean?
that
What force? Nuke. You nuke it. What else are you gonna do? Go fight
Yeah,
the
I
aliens
mean, whatever. The word nuke has a lot of connotations, but I mean, yes, you do what is necessary
and
at that point because you're
sacrifice?
thinking the world might
well, I would say for
end.
context, it's New York or it's everywhere.
Okay, but I think you just said it. What did you just say? The world might end though if we don't, right? Okay, so when the Avengers are sitting there and fighting Ultron and collateral damage, we might have lost Sokovia, but we stopped him, and he could have killed the whole world. So for you guys to come to us and be like, no, 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 you need to pipe down. We need to control this. Excuse me, we stopped them. There was collateral damage,
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
stopped them. They could have destroyed the world. Your plan was just to nuke a whole city. You didn't have a plan. We stopped them.
It's
So
same at
I
that
think it's
point.
a little bit of like, I think it's very similar. Ugh, I don't want to get
that's
political,
right. If they had nuked it, they would
but
have
it's
killed
very
Ultron.
similar
You
to the
think?
argument of like, what was on the news recently about the Starbucks CEO and how the government was ridiculing him. I don't remember the exact.
When you
Somebody was
say
It's
mad
like
because
when
the
you say
company
the
made so much
government,
money.
there was a video that was going around about, oh, the Starbucks CEO, the
He's like,
lady
I
was
came from
telling him
nothing.
like, you are a billionaire and you're not all these people that work for you and you're not sure. And he's like, but I did that. I'm
Right,
a billionaire because I earned it. It's a very similar argument to be like, well, I mean, I stopped them. What
right.
were you gonna do?
This is why it's
You,
classic cannot be not political because that is literally
yeah,
the overarching do you want people in your business or do you not?
right. It's a little bit of like jealousy. Well, you have superpower. Well, I need to control you.
Right.
I was
I
gonna
need to
ask if
step
it
in.
was ego based, and if it, I mean, maybe it's not that deep in the movie, but it feels ego based a little.
Right? That's why I'm so surprised it wasn't Tony.
Because he
And it was
changed,
Captain
man.
America.
That's the
Captain
whole
America
character
has no
arc. You're like,
ego.
oh, Tony's the one that thinks, wow, character arc.
But Tony
Yeah.
had already tripped over his ego in
He had.
earlier
He was
movies,
learning.
so he had evolved
He had three
beyond
movies to do that already.
to do the work.
I
Pepper Potts
okay.
fixed him.
Oh, good point. He's like, I gotta change my tune here a little bit, or she's gonna bail on me.
She fixed him.
That's ridiculous that he gave in to that. I would never have done that.
I hate it when people become better.
Mm.
He's the
I
worst.
well, I mean, since we're on the topic of Avengers, let's just ask the major question though. I mean, was Thanos not a little bit onto something?
100% he was. That's what makes him such a good
He
character.
was an excellent villain for, and
Because you're like,
Wait a minute.
wait a
He
minute,
might
he
be.
he
thought he
gives you
was doing the
pause.
right thing.
Yeah, it wasn't cut and dry,
Was
as
he doing the
so few
right
things
thing?
are.
From his
Also,
perspective, 100% he was doing the right thing. I mean, what is the right thing, Scott? It's all about perspective.
That's the question. What do you do?
Let me
Overpopulation.
determine what my perspective and what my right thing is. I don't need you to tell me what the right thing
Okay,
is
but
to
when
do.
your decision on what the right or wrong thing is affects
Other people.
everybody,
Yep.
who gets a say
Somebody's got to
also?
put them in check.
The government. Hey, Captain
Or no,
America,
just
we
the
can't have
Avengers.
you just
Just the Avengers
deciding.
can
the
do it.
government.
Captain America, we can't have you deciding what's right and wrong. We need a few more people than just you from the 1940s going,
Well,
That's
but he had
fair.
other people. It
That's
wasn't
fair.
just
That's
him. I
fair.
mean, I don't remember who was on which team now, even. But I mean, Wanda was on his side. Uh,
Vision.
Vision.
Was
I don't
Vision?
remember
Yeah,
who was
Vision
on
was
the
on his
sides
side.
now.
I'll look it up.
Ant-Man, Spider-Man. No,
Oh, if
Spider-Man
you
was
got
on.
Ant-Man, game over. Shut it
Ant
down.
Ant-Man's on our side, on Captain America's side. Uh,
I'll be honest. I fell off of the Avengers movies like kind of a while ago, but this making me want to go back and watch more.
mm,
I did see, what was it? Endgame was the one with Thanos.
yep,
I
two of
did.
them.
Okay, I think I saw both of those.
Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah,
All
That's
yeah,
right.
where it
yeah.
was like, okay, this is a good stopping
They
point.
Let
made
me.
they made Thanos such a cool bad guy
Oh
though.
yes,
He was the perfect
perfect.
formulation. He had Riz. Thanos had Riz.
Absolutely,
He did.
absolutely.
He was
And his
you.
monologues. Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
get chill bumps thinking about some
dude,
of the
you
things he would
wanted it.
say.
Chill
I went
bump.
into it expecting to just like, he's the bad guy. We don't like him, right? But low key, I really do like bad guys in movies. But he was a perfect formulation of like, wait a minute, how do I feel about this character?
Yeah,
Because I don't know. I just, two thumbs up for me for Thanos, just
and he was
overall.
inevitable. Oh, some of those lines that he delivers. Oh,
And he's
Team
all like big and blue and like scary,
mm,
but
purple, but okay.
purple. Okay.
It's
uh
close.
Team Iron Man. Tony Stark, obviously. War Machine, which feels like
He
a
can't go
loyalty
anywhere
thing. What is
else.
he?
Right.
He made
Yeah.
you a superhero.
Right.
Was that Don Cheadle?
Which by yeah,
Oh,
he's
I
not a
do like Don
superhero, by
Cheadle.
the way. War Machine is not.
Well,
Okay,
then
you're
neither
just
is
an
Tony Stark.
addition to Iron Man. No, I'm saying Iron Man made Iron Man, and then Iron Man made War Machine. Don Cheadle's character is not a superhero. He's just wearing the suit.
He had
Iron
heart.
Man made it. Iron Man's like, no, this you couldn't do it. You tried.
Okay.
With all the
Yeah.
technology in the world, you couldn't do it.
We should
I
have
just
that
gave it to him
conversation one
because
day
he's my
too.
friend. Well, anyway, um, Black Widow.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, she works for Tony Stark.
Captain America didn't have anybody good on his side. Black Panther came over.
That's a good one.
Vision.
No, Black Panther was on that side too. Because Captain America's got
The
Bucky.
Black
Sorry, go
Panther.
ahead. Yeah.
Vision, Black Panther, Spider Man. Spider Man doesn't know anything. He just
All right.
knows, oh,
Sorry,
Tony
Cap.
Stark.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Hey guys.
That's why he's there.
He's so dinky.
Vision might be the one that can provide some insight. Also, Tony Stark made Vision, so
Man,
Vision.
Tony's team is loaded. Who's on Captain America's team?
okay.
Ant-Man.
So Black Panther's then maybe he has a reason to be on that team. I don't know.
Well, he hates
Anyway,
Bucky. That's the only reason he's over there.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain America, Bucky, the Winter Soldier, the Falcon.
Ridiculous. Oh, I hate him.
He's
Really? Wait,
kind of
that's
like
your
Don
thing?
Cheadle's character, where it's like a throwaway. I mean, homie,
I don't really care for the actor, to be honest with you.
Who's the
But
actor? Is it?
Sam Wilson.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with him. I just his character in it is like
It's one of
I'm not a big fan of Don
those.
Cheadle. Not that it matters who we are fan of, but I'm not a huge fan of Don Cheadle. But also his character like just doesn't.
Mm.
Doesn't do it for you.
Anyway, the Falcon, Hawkeye.
Oh,
Captain is struggling. He
y'all,
is
y'all gonna hate on
struggling.
Hawkeye?
Oh wait, it
Really?
gets better for him. It gets better. Ant-Man
You said that.
and
I'm down with him.
Scarlet Witch.
Okay, but Scarlet Witch
That's
is
right.
cool. Scarlet
That's
Witch is
That's
right.
cool.
That's
Isn't
his
that the
game
Olsen
changer.
sister?
right. I was gonna say
Yes.
that's the one that's like okay.
Oh, she's
That
cool. She's real cool.
but I mean between
Sokovia.
him, the Winter Soldier, and Scarlet Witch, I think they could handle it without
Yes. Scarlet Witch could probably.
do it by herself.
Y'all really
Yeah.
don't like Hawkeye?
Not a huge
It's
fan
just
of. I mean,
silly a
he's
little
cool,
bit.
but he
He's got a
can.
great story with his family. Now
Maybe
that
that's
was
why I like
tough
It's
him.
too.
similar to like
Maybe that's
Yeah.
why I like
Deadshot
him.
from DC. Okay, your superpowers, you're really good at aiming.
He's a marksman.
Have you shot a bow and arrow? It's not as easy as it looks.
It's
Yes, Scott.
definitely not, but I don't know how he got to this level. I
Well, so
mean,
he can fly. So
are we gonna include Robin Hood? Is he not Robin
Oh
Hood?
wow.
yes,
No, it is Robin
Robin
Hood.
Hood.
Yeah,
maybe yes.
like he's an Avenger. Because okay,
Put him in, coach. Totally.
I don't know. I think Vision and Scarlet Witch are the game changers. Which is funny
Man.
because they,
Ooh.
but
Spoiler. Robin Hood may have been the original Avenger.
and
Wow.
they were like, we need
What a
somebody
call out
cooler.
there, Scott.
I'm just saying, that's
I mean,
it.
he
He's
was
good at.
kind of like, is he doing the right thing? He's stealing from the rich.
He's a little bit of a
He had a whole
rebel, but
squad.
He needs a little bit of government oversight.
right. The classic, you know,
Oh, Robin Hood would never.
do you steal from bread to feed your family?
Steal from bread.
Steal some bread to feed
Oh,
feed your family.
Rob Peter to pay Paul. Not really the same
You
thing.
know.
that's a good saying. Write that down.
Well, I'd steal the baker's backup bread. What if that was backup bread? I didn't know it was backup bread. Wow. Okay, you got me.
You got to do what you got to do to survive,
That was
though.
fun.
Mhm.
Do you
I don't need the
steal?
government
I
telling me
mean,
what to do. I'm trying to survive out here. We're out in the woods dying, playing orphans.
We had no government oversight
Call back.
out in the woods. We did not.
Right?
There-
Did y'all build your own? You should have formed your own
At what
government.
point does it
there was
become?
absolutely a hierarchy, though.
It's like the Lord of the Flies.
was a-
Eventually,
There was a hierarchy. Absolutely.
it
Mm.
starts to form.
Was
Who
there
was
a
the
teacher?
leader?
Somebody had to be the teacher.
The teacher?
Yeah.
No.
Who was
There was
the
no
leader?
learning going
Who
on.
do you
Okay.
think the leader was?
The oldest.
Wow.
Okay.
I had a stick.
So would you
Ooh.
pretend like you were orphans, like on the run, like you busted out of?
1,000%. Yes.
Were y'all all orphans, or were you the mom and the rest were kids?
Oh no, we were all
No,
orphans.
that's not how orphans work.
There's no mom in orphans.
Oh God.
No, we were in an orphanage and we had to break out. The person who ran the orphanage was obviously evil,
Ah, so it was like Annie.
like Annie.
Wow, you guys saw that movie and you were like, you know what? Let's go play in the
Annie was iconic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a hard night life.
For us,
Mhm.
Miss Hannigan.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Who's the
based off of
worst?
there was a lot of Miss
What
Hannigan.
about what was the other Matilda? What was she, an orphan?
Well, that's too early of a reference for me. Too recent.
Matilda?
James and the Giant Peach.
I thought
he
she
had
was a
the-
magic. She was magic.
He was
Matilda
a
was a
witch.
witch.
Yeah,
James and the Giant Peach?
James and the Giant Peach. He had the evil ants that he had to try to get away from. The whole
Why'd he
premise was
just
to get
step
as
on
far
her?
away
Giant
from the adults
Peach.
as possible
Come on,
and
that was
start your
good.
own
Listen,
situation.
if we're gonna get, I would just like to bring up, if we're talking about James and the Giant Peach, that reminds me of a really, really, really scary movie,
Don't say chicken run.
Chicken Run. You cannot tell me Chicken Run is not. I don't know how we got from Avengers to Chicken Run, but listen, Chicken Run is scary. Mrs. Tweety,
I think you're on your own here.
are you kidding me? That was horrifying.
She was not more scary
was
than
watching-
the ants, the evil ants in James and the Giant
Oh,
Peach.
she definitely was.
Those ladies were mean.
Watching her, crawling up the rope, climbing up the rope connected to their
Oh.
plane with that knife in her mouth. Or would know that the chicken had the knife in his mouth because any.
It sounds horrible, Scott. You're
But
right.
she had this look on her face like, oh, I'm gonna make you
I'm
into a
gonna
pie.
wring your neck, literally, because they're
Because
chickens.
you're a
Oh,
chicken.
wait till I get the axe. I'm just gonna.
So Chicken Run is like your poltergeist.
Yes, that was. I remember watching it for the first time
So
and
Miss
thinking,
Tweety climbing up the rope is like the skeleton guy who's half a body
the
crawling across the floor in the house for me.
yeah, the
Same,
anxiety.
same. Same, same.
It's the
And then
anxiety that
pukes up
gets
the
it for me.
worm. Ugh,
The
that's
anxiety of like, oh, we turn the corner. Oh, she sees us. It's game over.
How old were you the first time you saw Chicken
Oh
Run?
gosh, old enough to be terrified,
But young enough to
but
or
be
young
young enough
enough
to be
terrified.
to be
terrified.
terrified.
Don't say
So a few years ago,
I was 19
Yeah,
years old.
I, I don't
And I
know,
was
but it
like,
was, it
I'm not sure
was.
I've seen Chicken Run. I have to check it out.
it's the
You need to watch
well,
it.
it's the same people that did Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't
which
seen
is a
that.
little bit of like,
You
Claymation.
scared of that one too?
I'm not
That's
scared of
what it
it, but it
is.
has a little bit
The
It's
of.
the
claymation.
character. Yeah,
The
it's a
claymation.
little too real,
I
but
think
not
the
real.
claymation definitely has a huge factor, but Mrs. Tweety was just horrifying.
I'm googling Miss Tweety right now.
Do it.
Please,
And
please
all the other chickens when they would.
Whoa, that is not Miss Tweety.
immediately
JK.
Googling.
JK.
Okay. The way
Yeah,
that
Miss Tweety. Okay, she's a supervillain.
Yeah, she's ugh. But they saw her, chop the one's head
She
off, and
looks like Carol Burnett from
yeah, I was
Annie.
just about to say, Miss Tweety, Miss Hannigan.
Yeah.
Same-
Okay,
There's
Scott.
a
Okay, you're
parallel.
on to
There's a
something there.
parallel.
I, it was terrifying. If you go watch it and tell me it's not terrifying, there's nothing happy or jolly or bright about that except for the very ending when they finally make it over the hill to the promised land.
What an iconic Halloween costume that would be. Miss
Mm.
Tweety?
Would
It's
people
it's.
know it?
Can I just say I don't want to make this comparison, but
But I am.
It's bad, but it's the imagery. Okay, when you watch Chicken Run, and then maybe a year or two later, you watch you watch Schindler's List.
What?
Okay, the imagery is very, very similar. All right, I'm not saying that the chickens were in a concentration camp, but I'm saying that they were in a concentration camp. They were in this huge fence and they were terrified and they just wanted to get out. And that, like, it's always dark. There's always this anxiety of, like, who's watching when. There's no grass, it's just dirt. I just,
That is not I did not see that comparison coming. I
I'm just
think you're out
saying.
on a limb there
I
with
might be
Chicken Run
by
being a
myself.
concentration camp.
No, but I can empathize with maybe you really went through something because
I
that
really did.
Yeah,
it got you.
that
It
is
got you.
It's the
intense.
imagery of just the yeah.
Got you.
All Chicken Run was missing was
Wow.
Liam Neeson.
Mm.
I love some Liam Neesons.
Yeah, yeah, you can't go wrong there.
Well, even with his, we won't get into it.
Uh
Um.
oh.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap that up.
Remember that time we
Chicken
talked
Run.
about the Avengers?
And thank you for tuning in. This has been. We still don't have a name for this thing. We should probably work on that. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you for tuning in. Play the outro. Hop
Hop
out.
out.
Hop out.